Is it possible to argue by your damn self? I'm just asking.
And I'm like, come on through, Cookie. I want to put my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag and all its forms. What,
Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for Married to Medicine. This is season 5, episode 3. And I just want to know, is it actually possible to argue with your damn self? Heavenly, that's a question for you. Can you argue by yourself? Okay, but we're going to talk about it later. So y'all know I'll be waiting for a reason to jump on Toya, and I couldn't even do it. Couldn't even jump on Toya, but we're going to talk about it in a minute. Let's just start off with Toya's son is just as ignorant. Her little baby, she had one of her kids on her lap. This was the opening scene, and he done farted on her lap. I said, just as ignorant as your mammy. Just ignorant. Farted on her lap. Just ignorant, nasty little boy. I said, Lord have mercy. The babies is full of shit just like they mammy. That's the best. Anyway, we actually see Contessa and Toya actually sitting down talking. And at the same time, we see Heavenly speaking to Allura. And see, that right there is problematic because, again, we got Heavenly talking to Allura like she's her best girlfriend. Allura is not your best girlfriend. She is your daughter, your young daughter. And you're literally talking to her like she's a 40-year-old woman. And y'all are going back and forth about the situation that you had with Contessa and Toya. I don't get that. I don't get it. But okay, girl, whatever. Go on and keep on talking to your daughter. And then you wonder why she's so grown, and you wonder why she says grown shit and talks to you real crazy. It's these things right here. You take her out of a child's place, and then you expect her to know when to get back in a child's place. Child, it's not even fair to her. But anyway, whatever. So she's going on, and Heavenly's trying to... What I was seeing is that Heavenly was building a case against Toya. And I didn't understand it. I mean, yes, Toya did instigate a little bit at that little the party last week. She did instigate just a little bit, but it was what it was. It was what it was. It didn't go anywhere, and as far as I was concerned, it was pretty much squashed. It was no real big deal. It was nothing that really needed to carry on. You know what I mean? So, and Allura basically told her about that. She told her about that. And what I'm saying about Heavenly building the case, she was saying, well, I'm feeling like Toya be talking to her little friends about me. And I'm saying, sounds to me like you building the case against Toya. And she was totally wrong because Contessa and Toya were actually having a conversation, and Toya was saying all good things about you. At the same time, it made you look terrible. And, in retrospect, it made you look bad. She was saying, Heavenly's just kind of like that. We all love Heavenly. Once you get to know her, you'll really like her, this, that, and the other. And you were steadily, at the same time, on film, tearing Toya down, saying that she's petty and she's shady and that you're going to pull her to the side and talk to her and all of this. I said, girl, you building a case against poor Toya for nothing. I said, oh, boy, this is going to be a mess. So I was like, all right, whatever. So move on. So we got Quad and Dr. G. And we're starting to see where the issue is. There's an issue over at Quad's house, too. She's having marital issues, too. And her issue is she's feeling underappreciated, which can actually turn out to be something bad. And I'm like, oh, please, y'all need to address this and get that out of the way now before it gets bad. But Dr. G was saying that he feels like Quad exaggerates how much she does for him, and she feels as though he just never says thank you. Um, seems like she's feeling really underappreciated and a little taken for granted. And that is bad because that can fester. And if that feeling fester, it can create problems in the marriage. So I want them to get on top of that and get that figured out. Um, yeah, there's enough problems going on. I'm like, what is with all these marriage problems? Next, we actually see Dr. Jackie, who is funny because when it comes to infidelity, I'm really not a forgiving person on most things, but especially not on infidelity. I was really proud of Dr. Jackie because Dr. Jackie is really taking a really adult route to this, and she's acknowledging her part in missing that her marriage was so tore up. She's acknowledging it. And it's Curtis is actually sending her gifts. She basically everyday child. He's sending her all kind of shit. Louis Vuitton and all kind of nice stuff. She actually is considering forgiveness. That's very, very grown up, Jackie. Very grown up of you. I know that me as a person, I couldn't do it. So all I could do is tip my hat to Jackie on that. Um, I don't feel as though she should take him back, especially with the way everything went down. But that again, it's not my choice to make. And the way it's looking, I wouldn't be surprised if Jackie gives her marriage another shot. If Curtis doesn't do anything else before these weeks are up, I could actually see Jackie jumping back in the saddle and trying to fix what's going on in her marriage. And I think that does, especially with how public everything was, that takes a big, big person. Very big person. The embarrassment of it is enough to take me out. I just couldn't. I couldn't even imagine. I'm not even going to sit here and lie to you all. I couldn't take Jackie's stance that she's taking right now. But, hats off to you, Jackie. If you want your marriage to work and you can sit underneath that, I hope it works out for you. I really do. I hope, you all can fix it and he won't screw up again. So we're going to see. We're going to keep on watching and we'll see. We see Simone sitting with her youngest boy. And I was like, oh, God. I wanted to roll the tape back myself and erase the footage myself before anybody else could actually see it. When he said, I like my ice cream vanilla and I like my women vanilla, I was like, oh, boy, the internet's going to jump on this poor child. He has no clue. It didn't bother me. Because again, I don't live my life in color. I'm cool with whatever. Come on. Seriously. You never know who you're going to get. James, Milan, shit. You don't know. Long hair, short hair, girl, boy, something in between. You don't know what you're going to get from me. So I'm not the one to jump out there and start judging. When it comes to that, you love who you love. And that's how I live. I like what likes me. So I don't have a problem with a white man, a Cuban man. As long as it's a man, honey, I'm fine. It is what it is. But I know my people, and I know how my people roll. And I'm just waiting for the shoe to drop because they're going to eat that poor little child alive about making that comment. So I'm just going to be watching. I'll be watching down to the Twitter to see what's going to happen to poor little boy for saying that. But I was like, oh boy, okay. But then he starts talking to Simone. He has some real issues. He is really, really worried about the status of his mother and his father's marriage. And he's worried about them getting a divorce. He's all in. And I feel really, really bad for him. That's nothing that a child should have to actually do it. And he is just a child. What is he, about 14 or 15? I can't even imagine. I just feel really bad that this stuff with Cecil and Simone has actually trickled down to where the kids are so aware of what's actually going on. It's sad and it's really hard to watch. Y'all know I love Cecil and Simone. I really do. As a couple, I want them to get this fixed. And I mean, God damn it, get it fixed quick. Anyway, so we finally meet the rest of Contessa's family. And her family's pretty normal. Pretty normal. She's a doctor and she doesn't seem half bad. I was like kind of side eyeing her because that whole little thing with Heavenly last week, it was kind of crazy. Like it was just crazy. It didn't make sense. And then I just kind of hoped, I was just kind of wishing that it had never even happened. You know what I mean? But from what we got to see, she's pretty normal. Very normal family, cute little kids. She got the craziest goddamn nanny this side of the Mason-Dixon line, which happens to be Darnell Jones's mom. And child, we can't help but like her and thank her for Darnell, girl, child. Thank you, girl. That Darnell Jones, honey. Yeah, honey, that's some man crush stuff from back in the day, honey. But yeah, it's his mom, and I don't think she's really all that crazy. She just old school. Like she was like, child, these kids eating some hot dogs. Did you say something about some hot dogs? They get some hot dogs. You have a hot dog too. She's like old school. She ain't for all the flash and all that. I didn't understand that shirt. What was that big hole in the back of that shirt? I didn't like she had this net shirt and the back of it had like a whole big circle out where her ass was. And I just didn't understand it. I mean, it wasn't like she was giving you no type of ass that you want to have on display. I just didn't get whatever. I ain't get ready to tear up Darnell's mama. Not this week anyway. We'll get her next week if she clowning. But their household seems just very normal, and Contessa just seems kind of normal. And I said, okay, well, I'm gonna be nice and I'm gonna give her a chance. We're gonna give her a chance and see what she got, what she's bringing to the table. Next scene, we see Toya and her dad. And we find out that her dad is a vicious cheater. That was how her mom and her dad got separated out. He cheated with her mom's best friend. I said, oh, you dirty bastard. So now I'm saying, okay, and I keep hearing all this stuff from Toya, and I'm like, girl, do you got that gene up in you too, honey? Because you are so stuck on this sex thing, girl. Don't you do like your daddy did and have things all screwed up now. Get yourself down there and sit on down. But the thing is, which I did like, she was talking about all the things. Eugene did this and Eugene does that. And he told me to go masturbating. He masturbates to keep from sleeping with me and this, that, and the other, and on and on. And he never said that. He never said that he masturbates to keep from sleeping with you, Toya. You just making up stuff now. But the thing that I did like, her dad likes Eugene. And her dad didn't entertain an ugly conversation about Eugene with Toya. I liked that. He didn't even entertain it with her. And I think she needs to go sit down. Because I think you're building a mountain out of a molehill and you don't have a problem in your marriage. But if you continue on, you can build a problem in your marriage. Like I've said, I've actually seen a girlfriend literally ruin a whole relationship by accusing the man. She had a good dude and she kept accusing him of stuff. And the man wasn't even doing that. And she literally ruined the whole relationship. It really got to a point where he couldn't even stand her. And I was like, girl, and to this day, she's gone on and she's married somebody else and all of that. I still say the one she ran away was her Mr. Right. Yeah, I said it and I ain't taking it back. It is what it is. But I think she ran Mr. Right away with that bullshit. But whatever. Don't be next on the roster, Toya. Leave that man alone. Leave that man alone and stop that bullshit. Okay, so moving on. So Quad had went over to visit Simone. And Quad was coming in the door. She was still laughing about how her team, how they all won the cooking challenge. And she thought, Cecil is the man. And, she's just going on about how much she loves Cecil. Girl, you got a good man. She was singing Cecil's praises. And Simone jumped in there like black tar and was giving, well, Cecil ain't everything that you think you see. And I was like, Simone, what are you doing? But she gave Quad this whole thing of Cecil ain't who you think Cecil is, and he don't be treating me good, and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, you really want me to drag you, don't you, Simone? Quit it. Quit it. Well, in the midst of all that going on, Quad starts talking about Dr. G and the things that is going on with them. And then she led out into another piece of what goes on over at the house with her and Dr. G, which is the thing that scared me the most. And I said, I can't have this out of them too. Because again, they're my other favorite couple. I can't have this out of them too. When she said that basically Dr. G holds things over her head, that is destructive. That is destructive. Dr. G, if you are doing that, you need to stop doing that shit last Wednesday. That is horrible. And that, my dear, would have me with my purse over my arm going on down the street. I have a real problem about people like giving me stuff. I don't see. I was great. Let me go ahead on. Let me go on up on my soapbox. Okay, the whole thing. There's a whole epidemic going on about dry bagging and bootlegging on YouTube. There's a whole epidemic of it that's going on, and there's some people who, our viewers and subscribers. God knows we love you all, and I have subscribers just like everybody does. I have subscribers that want me to have things, and they come and they say, "Hey, get a post office box. I want to send you something. Hey, I want to what's your PayPal?" They want to do stuff. There's things that they want to do for you, and they want you to have these things, and I have no problem with that, and I thank them for them. But I have to work myself into that. Because I just have a problem with people giving me stuff because I don't like people holding things over my head. I kind of grew up with a person that does that. My grandmother is very much that way. And it's I don't want you giving me nothing, lady, because she's very much one of those people who will hold shit over your head and you will be withholding her for the rest of your life. I ain't got time for that. I don't have time for that because I feel like anything in this life that I want, if I work toward it, I can get it for myself. Though I love a gift just like anybody else, but I don't ever want to be in a position where people are holding things over my head. But like I said, it's an epidemic on YouTube, honey. Sometimes we got these people with this dry bagging and bootlegging, baby. They act like the people owe them. Give me this, give me that. I need this, I need that. I can't stand it. It just goes all through me because I know that there are people out there who do feel that way. They'll give them stuff, but they're holding it over their head. And then there's some people who don't do that, and they don't deserve that type of treatment. But that's a whole nother subject for another time. So that just all came to mind when I was listening to this. Let me get down off my soapbox, but bam, 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 and I'm back. But I need Dr. G to cut that shit out because that is very destructive and that can tear that marriage completely apart. So I am very afraid for Dr. G and Quad with that. I think the whole thing of her feeling unappreciated is bad, but it's a little bit easier to deal with and to come away from. But this thing of holding things over your head, and then she made the comment about, I paid the mortgage. And she says, here's a check to pay the mortgage for the next year. And he won't take it. Now, that's good. He ain't supposed to take it. You're not supposed to take it. Take care of your wife. That's what you do. Man takes care of his family. Family is woman and children. That's what a man does. Go do it. You're not supposed to take her check for the mortgage. But she don't want to hear that bullshit about the mortgage either. You're supposed to do. I don't need you telling me nothing about what it is that you were supposed to do anyway. Shut up, Dr. G. Don't do that to her. Don't do that. Don't do that. So yeah, I understood where she was coming from. I was wondering why it was, because my girlfriend is soft, honey. Miss Quad is soft. She put up a good fight, but she's soft. Her feelings are soft and her feelings get hurt. But I was wondering what led her to these tears And I knew it had to be more than just, oh, I feel underappreciated. But yeah, baby, that little holding things over my head, yeah, I can see where that would draw a tear, but I don't want to see them tears no more. I want y'all to fix that. Y'all fix that. Get that fixed. Quick, like last Wednesday. Anyway, okay, so we'll be keeping our eye open for that. Next, Jackie actually had a little field day, and it looked like they were having a ball. They were having a ball. They were doing the potato sack races and all these different things. She had like nice healthy snacks and stuff. You know how Jackie puts her little stuff together. And lo and behold, here they go. That damn Heavenly decides that she wants to talk to Toya at the function. I said Jackie's going to snap the hell out. Why are you doing this here? Jackie's going to snap the hell out, and you know it. And she was just about to get him real good because they was going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But this is what I had to tip my hat to Contessa, because Contessa saw where it was kind of going, because Heavenly and Toya had actually sat and talked and had ended up like it just didn't go nowhere. And Toya was like, I'm done. Heavenly like, I'm done. I'm like, are you kidding me, you two? Like, are you kidding me? Like, why are y'all falling out? Heavenly, why are you picking a fight with Toya? Stop it. And Contessa came in and squashed it all. I said, wow. And she did. She was like, I'll take the blame for it all. It is what it is. It should not have happened like that. Can't we just, basically start over and all of that? And Heavenly actually accepted. It caught her, it blindsided her out of her bullshit. She couldn't even continue on. She couldn't even continue on with it, because you cannot argue by your goddamn self unless you're crazy or you're drunk. And Heavenly will get drunk, but Heavenly wasn't drunk. And she wasn't acting crazy. And Contessa bumped her right out of her bullshit, and it squashed it. And I was like, wow, that was cool. Because that's something we don't get to see on reality TV very often. But Contessa shut that shit right down, and nobody walked away, ugly. Though I still think that for some reason, Heavenly's going to keep on trying to pick at Toya. I don't know what that's about. Like, Heavenly, are you trying to build a storyline by picking at Toya? Like, come on. If Toya ain't acting an idiot, please let Toya just chill for a change. Because she already got enough stuff that she's starting up with Eugene that's going to blow up in her face. Please leave her alone, Heavenly. Please. Please leave that stupid girl alone. Anyway, last thing. Simone and Cecil sit down with Dr. Ken. They're doing a Snapchat situation, doing some counsel, because he came highly recommended from Simone's sister, I believe it was. I think it's Simone's sister. And but he's all the way in a different state. But he was doing the session with them. It was, when I'm sitting there watching them, Cecil was at this thing. It was ugly, because he kind of seemed like he was so irritated. Soon as Simone started talking, he seems irritated. And Dr. Ken called him on it. And I think he got to see it from outside and didn't like that somebody else saw that. And I think he responded well to it. And it seems to me like Cecil was going to be open to this counseling. Seems like he's going to be open to this counseling. So I got hope for them with that. But the one thing that did come up that worried me was he was saying how Simone don't know how to let stuff go. I'm guilty. But she'll not let stuff go. And he was saying she likes to bring up stuff that happened 15 years ago. And she said, yeah, because there's that one thing that happened 15 years ago. And he loves to put out there that that's the only time I ever did anything. And she's like, no, you did that. And then there's other little stuff that piles onto it. It gets on my nerves. And she said, I remind him. Now, that's wrong, too. That's wrong, too. If you said you forgave it, you're not supposed to go back into it. And that could be causing a problem. But the issue is, hey, goddamn Cecil, what did you do 15 years ago that she keep bringing up? It must have been something rough that she's able to keep bringing it up. So that just kind of made my antenna go up. I was like, what the hell did Cecil do 15 years ago? You better not let us find out that you was sticking your ding-a-ling, ting-ting-ting and somebody else, Cecil. Because that's the only thing that I can imagine that she would bring up 15 years later that would be getting on your nerves. Is you running around with a hot dick, Cecil? I'll wait. That's it. That's all I got for this episode of Married to Medicine. We're not going to be in next week. Yeah, it's the holiday. It's Black Friday and Thanksgiving next week. So happy holidays to you guys. And we'll be back the week after with Married to Medicine. All right, guys. Later.